that was a fitting intro since Hunter's back in the news.
Is that a new one? I haven't seen that one before.
Oh man, that was like the second one that I ever made.
Okay. I like that one.
We just don't use it a lot because it's kind of, I mean, I guess it's kind of Hunter Biden specific. If there's something going on with Hunter, then we'll roll with it, but we don't use it a whole lot.
So what's old Hunter been up to? I haven't been keeping up with that.
I'm trying to remember what it was exactly. So they've been, like, House Republicans have been trying to bring him to trial for all of his bullshit, shady business dealings with China and Ukraine, everything else. And they finally caught a break on some of it so that they can actually, like, nothing's going to happen. But they finally caught a break where they can actually, like, bring some of it to trial. Because remember, they were using the gun charge as one of the things that they were going to be bringing him up on to try to bring everything else. And then they dicked around and let the fucking statute of limitations expire on the gun charge. And there was all this talk that the reason they did that was so that they could do this other thing. And then it's been 2 fucking years and they haven't done anything at all because they're spineless, worthless pieces of fucking shit.
I mean, you got to give it to the Democrats, man. At least they go after, like, at least they do what they say they're going to do, and they go after these people. You know, it's like, at least they can do that.
Well, and that's the thing that I've written about in my last 2 Substacks. One that I put out last night and one that put out last week. Is like, they understand how to fucking win. You don't win by being nice and having your opponent like you and respect you. You win by just fucking winning. Like, if this idea of sportsmanship does not apply to politics. Politics is you go do whatever the fuck you've got to do to put the other guy 6 feet under the ground and forget that he ever existed.
Yeah.
Not we're going to shake hands and we're all going to ride happily off into the sunset and get along, ho-hum, yada-da. Fuck that shit. You have to win, and you have to win decisively. There cannot be any doubt that you won. They need to go home, cry, and put a bullet in their own head because they know that their life is over and they can never accomplish anything. Like, that's how you win in politics. If nothing, so for as much as I hate Sherman, he understood how to win a war. You just absolutely put your opponent under your boot and crush them. And that's that's the problem. So, and that's, I wrote about the weak men create hard times thing last night. And weak men didn't crop up in the last 40 years. Weak men have existed since the Civil War and before. But the weak men are the ones who think, well, I just want to go along to get along, and I just want everybody to like me and respect me, and I don't want to do evil things. Weak men will cling to power with everything they have, and they win because they are evil. They will use that evil to cling to power however they can.
Yep.
Strong men want everything to be good for everyone. Weak men want only what needs to be good for them to be good for them, and fuck everyone else. That's the disconnect. People think that the weak men are like Dylan Mulvaney and shit like that. No, the weak men are the ones who cling to power and want it and don't want to do anything to help anything else in the world. And the only way you get rid of them is by objectively rooting them under and getting the fuck rid of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I went on.
Or else you get stuck with Mitch McConnell. Throwing a couple things in the chat here.
Yeah, all right, go. Let's see.
I don't have my login yet.
What's a good
that third one's a good one though. Third one's honor for yesterday's.
I say that's all in the. That was all in the Twitter chat. I pull up the Twitter chat stuff.
Oh well, I put it in the private chat on Signal here because I don't have the login yet.
That's what I'm saying. You posted it all in the Twitter chat too.
Yeah, I did, but
yeah. What was it? Yesterday was the anniversary. 20 years. Wow, 20 years. Marvin Heemeyer and his attack on a city, which was well justified.
So today they would say attack on democracy.
I'm sure.
Debris, some venting, a whole lot of cinder blocks. He's actually pushing cinder blocks. These are remnants. This is debris from the buildings he's taken out over the course of the past hour or so, trying to figure out how to get in. I'm sure police officers, sheriff's deputies were themselves assuming for a time that he was armed because they were trying to keep their distance, trying to take cover. Actually took cover, as you can see there, behind the scraper. But they seemed to realize at some point that he was unable to shoot out, and that at this point he was like a turtle on his back. He was very vulnerable. He had gotten himself wedged. He disabled the caterpillar, and there was no place for him to go. The challenge now was to get him out of there. We don't know how that stands. So what you see on top of there,
it's beautiful.
The entire story is fucking tragic. Like,
yeah, it is. It's awful. That city went after him, and they would not relent, and he had no other choice. He was backed into a corner. When you back somebody into a corner, that's what they do.
Yeah, like all of the different situations that it was like at first it could be kind of chalked up to an administrative mistake or something like that. Mm-hmm. But then like the more that he brought it to the city council, like, hey, like you are actively fucking my business, the more it just seemed like they just didn't care. Like they decided it would be fun to just fucking destroy somebody's life. And then
there was a point. There was definitely a point in that whole thing where they were like, we're just going to screw with him. Yeah. It was definitely a point of that.
And they got what they deserved. I mean,
yeah. Did anybody die in that other than him?
If I recall,
wreck buildings.
I'm gonna say, if I recall correctly, there were a handful of people were like injured, but not severely.
Okay.
Mostly it was just him like running through buildings, and people got out. It's like sometimes a little. What's the word? Not affirmative action isn't the right word, or isn't the right term, because it's come to mean something else. But sometimes a little affirmative action is the correct response to getting problem solved. I mean, he was doing something in the affirmative. That's what affirmative action, right? Yeah. Not he didn't hire a black person to run.
Our fan will get that.
Yes. Speaking of a little affirmative action to take care of a problem as it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Solta a dona, rapaz. Solta a mulher, rapaz. Solta ela. Caralho. O policial tem que dar pra não atirar. Tem que atirar nas costas dele, rapaz. Tinha que deixar ele. Nas costas, cara. Não bora nada. Solta a velha, rapaz. Atira, policial.
That's the feel-good story of the day.
Well, and all the people cheering.
I mean, it's like because the crime is bad and they want it to stop. So that's how you stop it. That's how you stop crime, is you put down the people that are committing the crimes. It's not that difficult of a concept. Apparently it is, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, if it was here, they would go out of their way. You know who they are.
Yeah.
We go out of their way to justify how he was actually an honor student and
Yep.
recently graduated. I had his whole life ahead of him. And
he had
that
never
lady-
committed a crime before in his life, and
never
he was
before.
just trying to, like, you know,
he was just trying to help that lady across.
yeah,
the
he's just trying to help her cross the street. That's it. That's it. Even though he had a gun to her head.
Mm-hmm. Brazil. Yeah, no. So that was from Brazil. Brazil does not fuck around on a number of different. Although, so
was that the country? Was that the country that made it legal to run over people that are trying to?
Yes, for a while it was. They didn't make it legal per se.
They just weren't prosecuting.
Basically, they had these like roving street gangs on these like bike gangs, and not like not like Hell's Angels type of
yeah
bike gangs. They're like on mopeds and dirt bikes and stuff. But they would like run up on people who were walking down the street and mug them, steal their wallet, steal their purse, and then jump on the bikes and take off. And the police basically just said, we can't do anything about this. If you want the problem solved, take care of it yourself. And so people just started, every time they would see one of these like bikers pull up, jump off their bike, snatch some chick's purse and jump back on it, they would just barrel through them and run them over. There was one that was impressive. You see like in the background, so it's a camera view down this alley. And in the background, you see a car drive past as the mugging is happening. And then the car backs up and it just comes like flying down the alley. And as this guy's getting back on the dirt bike, the car hits him. Dirt bike goes flying. Dude just goes straight up in the air. It was like amazing. Those are some of the most fun videos to watch. Like, is it ever really good to watch somebody get killed? No, not really. But at the same time, watching a bunch of guys who are mugging old ladies on sidewalks get run over by cars is fucking entertaining.
Yes. Did you see the one that was one I'll never forget was the one where the guy gets hit and he's trying to walk and his leg is just like doing this because it's just like there's nothing left of that leg and it's just flapping in the wind. It's like, my God, I couldn't imagine how painful that would be.
Did you see the full version of that? Because that dude's like walking with his leg flapping, and then like a group of like 4 or 5 guys just like come beat the shit out of him. Like he chase him down and beat his ass. That's awesome.
I mean, that's what you get when you do that stuff. That's what should happen to people that do that stuff. You know, now if a cop did that in America, that cop would be on trial for like, it'd be a big high profile trial, and they would find the cop guilty for manslaughter or murder or whatever. It's pretty pathetic.
For real. Speaking of our best and brightest and getting a little bit of, I don't know if they necessarily deserve this, but it's been happening a little more frequently of late.
Yeah.
Guy's lucky he didn't shoot his balls off. Trigger discipline, my friends. Trigger discipline. Come on. It's not that hard.
Golly.
I've been carrying a gun for 20 years. I've never shot myself in the balls.
Man, what do they have? Because that's got to be some small caliber that it hit him in the leg like that.
Probably a 22. It's probably, well, I mean, yeah, it's probably a 22. Hell, it's probably a BB gun. Although BB gun wouldn't make that sound. But yeah, it's most likely a 22. Or, I mean, it could be AR round, but I mean, they're not that big of a round, actually. But, I mean, it does cause a hole the size of the Grand Canyon if it hits somebody, right? What the politicians were saying a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most deadly round ever.
Yeah, you shoot something with an AR-15 and it's just instant death.
Yes, instant death. Yep. It stands for assault rifle 15, right?
Yeah, 15 rounds per second.
Yeah, 15 rounds. I remember that one going around. 15 rounds per second. Like, God, I wish. Although, could you imagine, like, so you have a magazine full and you're doing that? Like, that's just so damn expensive. Like, that's my thoughts. Like, I don't want an automatic weapon. It's too expensive to shoot.
Even a small caliber, there's no way to control the recoil on something like that. Like, yeah. Like
I mean, I've shot big machine guns before, and they're hard to hold on to. And they're not easy.
Like SDG says, this is a self-solving problem. We just let them keep shooting themselves. Like,
they eventually go away.
Yeah, loosen up all the gun laws and just let them deal with it.
Yep. So what's going on with Hunter? You started to say that. Should look into that real quick.
Oh, I mean, I said everything that I'm aware of.
Oh, I just didn't see what was going on. Like, I know he was on trial, and then they said Joe Biden was there. You think Joe Biden showers with Hunter the way Joe showers with his daughter?
I don't think anybody probably in their right mind showers with Hunter. That's probably a bad time.
Okay. I don't know.
Except the ones he pays.
Yes, except for the ones he pays. And his sister's and his brother's wife.
Here we go. So it is the gun thing. They are bringing the gun thing back around. Like all the other shit, and like crack and everything else, and it's the gun thing is what they keep trying to bring it up on.
I mean, it
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden leaves the hearing for Hunter Biden's federal gun trial in Wilmington, Delaware. Said she left after they started showing videos of him naked playing with his gun.
Oh, okay. Like this, okay? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best charge they can get him on. That's the thing. It's because the media won't. I mean, if the media would do their job, Joe would never have been in office. But the media won't do their job.
All right, the whole laptop thing was. Somebody posted it, the screenshot from NPR saying that they weren't going to run the Hunter Biden story because they didn't engage in fake news stories. Like, this is NPR. Everything y'all engage in is fucking fake news story.
Yeah. National propaganda radio, my man. That's all they are. Just pure propaganda. But they say it in a nice voice. So that makes a difference. They do it in a nice way. I used to listen to NPR. I listen to it all the time, and I would say, just so I can know what my enemy's doing, I listen to them. But I just can't take the way that they present the news anymore. Just their voices are annoying as hell. And the background noise too. Like, they'll throw in all kinds of weird background noises when they're doing stories like in other countries and stuff. It's pretty annoying.
Let's see. It says that his late brother Bo's wife Hallie is going to testify that he got her hooked on crack on top of banging her after. It's going to be interesting. If she was smart, I have absolutely no faith in the Republicans to do anything with this.
No, not at all.
But it could be interesting nonetheless.
But if she was smart, she would say, well, if the Republicans were smart, they'd get her to say that he took advantage of her in a weak state. And that's how all that happened. And then publicize that. I think that would be the way to go. But then all the left is going to do is say that they're going after a private family and not just going after Joe Biden himself. But even when you have stuff on Joe Biden, like taking a shower with your daughter, a 13-year-old daughter, like that's then all they come back and say is like, oh, that's normal. It's like there's absolutely nothing normal about that.
But excuse me, wasn't there some creepy shit with Hunter and some of his like niece or something too?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, that family, I'm sure they just, yeah, I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, free for all.
Don't want our tech overlords to get pissy about that.
Tech overlords. Guess Elon is bringing civilization and society and culture to the rest of the world. Remote Amazon tribe finally connects to the internet, only to wind up hooked on porn and social media.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it, though?
That's beautiful. So would he bring them Starlink?
Yeah.
And a couple of computers or what?
A reclusive tribe in the Amazon finally got hooked up to the internet thanks to Elon Musk, only to be torn apart by social media and pornography addiction, the elders complain. Brazil's 2,000-member Marubo tribe has been left bitterly divided by the arrival of Tesla founder Starlink service 9 months ago, which connected the remote rainforest community along the Itui River to the web for the first time. When it arrived, everyone was happy. But now things have gotten worse. Young people have gotten lazy because of the internet. They're not learning the ways. They're learning the ways of the white people. Fucking white people.
Yep. I mean, how long have they been doing the same thing they've been doing? Like, 500-600 years that they've been living in that village, doing that, like not just doing what they're doing now. And Elon had to go in and mess it all up for them.
Everyone is so connected. Sometimes they don't even talk to their own family. Initially, the internet was heralded as a positive for the remote tribe, who were able to quickly contact authorities for help with emergencies, including potentially deadly snake bites. But then they found porn.
They started Googling like other snake bites and
Yep, ended up getting videos of the wrong snake. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, imagine going from completely remote to being able to see titties anytime you want with no in between. Because it says they're an incredibly like modest culture, and that they even frown upon kissing in public. So like, yeah, they don't get down with any of this kind of shit. And now boobs and social media, which is also just boobs. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's so funny. I mean, what do you do?
There are and I guess this is part of the reason I've heard about like tribes and stuff that have effectively banned anything like this. Like they won't allow Starlink. They won't allow technology of any sort, and not just the Amish. Like,
so is that considered racism against white people then?
No, there is no such thing as racism against white people.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I forgot about that.
Like I've heard about this. There are plenty of like tribes and stuff that basically say like we're not doing any of that shit. Like we've seen what the rest of the world, elders and stuff are like. We know what the rest of the world is doing. Fuck them. We don't want it. I mean,
I was reading a story a year or so ago about Amish, how they like when you get it. I think it's when you turn 18, they send you out in the world for a year or so. And there's a certain group of Amish people like, yeah, we're not going to be doing that anymore. Like, there's too much weird shit out there.
What? So they talk about, so that's the Rumspringa. I don't know how long it is that they actually are like out, but
I thought it was a year.
I don't know. I'm not sure. There are people that are like, oh my gosh, once you like leave and you get out into the world and see technology and all the great things that the world has to offer, like, why would you ever go back? Why would they even allow them to do that? They would lose everybody. It's like, actually, the overwhelming majority go back. I think it's I think it's like more than 95. Like the number of people who go out and see the world and are like, yeah, I want that, is ridiculously small percentage of the ones like,
yep,
they get out and they're like, holy shit, this place is fucked up. I'm going back home.
Yep. Yes, they definitely do. I'm looking for that CDC article.
I wonder what it would take to join an Amish community. I mean, we got plenty of Amish and Mennonites around here. I guess I could just fucking ask one of them. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, your beard is almost long enough.
I know. I could pretty much be in the Amish community with my beard.
And so you just get you some fancy denim overalls and a nice hat, and you'd be set.
Yeah, the problem though is like I wouldn't be able to listen to music, and that would kill me. Like you can't. It's not like you can have a CD player. Can you have a record player? Does that count or no?
I don't know.
Like if it's a manual record player, because I can bring my albums and go Amish, but
you just play. Get you a good acoustic guitar. Just play.
Yeah, I do have one, but I'm not good at it though. So
I
just dropped an article in there.
You can kind of see it back there. I got a nice acoustic bass. I need to tune it up and get it out and play with it.
Yeah, my bass is back there. It's my West Tone bass. But yeah, so now not only in Michigan, but now in Australia, they are killing all kinds of chickens for this supposed bird flu BS that we have. It's getting interesting. There's so many things that they're trying to do with this one. See that?
Authorities are on high alert after an outbreak of bird flu at a farm west of Melbourne. The state's chief vet says there's no risk to humans, but there are warnings on the impact at the checkout.
The outbreak was suspected over the weekend. Now it's been confirmed, and there are concerns bird flu has already spread.
There's a high possibility that it may have already had contact with domestic poultry on other farms.
The egg farm in Meredith, around 40 kilometres northwest of Geelong, was placed into quarantine today. Around 400,000 chickens will now be euthanized.
This is quite possibly some of the dumbest shit ever. Like these layer houses, these broiler houses, they're highly secluded. They have closed air for the houses themselves.
Yeah.
They're not infecting each other. They're not infecting like neighboring farms and stuff. Like everything about this is the most anti-science thing ever. And
come on, man. After 2020, anti-science is the new science.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, that's anti-science is how everything is done now.
Yes.
And they even said in that video there early on, like, this isn't a threat to humans. So they keep with like news reporting here with where they said bird flu got into milk and other stuff. Mm-hmm. They've tried to run the bird flu thing up the pole a number of times just in my life. That I can remember just in the last 20 years, they've tried at least 3 separate occasions to run the bird flu thing up. And every single time it falls on its face because either it is a strain that has some sort of effect on humans and it burns out really quick, or as is like always the case, it's not. It's not even like it doesn't even go to like cold and flu type of thing for humans. It has no effect on humans.
Well, the one case in Michigan where the farmer got it, all he had was pink eye. So, and they're saying it was bird flu, and he had freaking pink eye, and they killed like 1,000 birds for that. For one guy getting pink eye. Like, dude, the guy works with animals all day long. Of course he's going to get pink eye once in a while. Like, it's not... It's normal. It happens.
Yeah. So I do think it does seem, though, like this time around, I guess because I guess people have kind of got the been there, done that, got the T-shirt, or for some people, been there, done that, got the heart condition. Like, it's not getting any kind of traction. Like, because the bird flu thing has been getting talked about for at least the past 2 months, if not longer than that. And like, they keep bringing it up, and then it just keeps dying off because nobody fucking cares. Speaking of been there, done that, got the heart condition. According to an article from The Telegraph, COVID vaccines may have helped fuel the rise in excess deaths. This is actually for those who... Oh, this is a new updated one. I would say there was one that came out. There was one that came out similar to this a few months ago that had some really interesting statistics and stuff in it. It had a really good breakdown of the studies that they used to determine, like how they classify excess deaths and everything. And like when you start looking at the numbers, it's like, holy shit! Like it's to some extent worse than what even like folks like us had said that it was.
Yes, it's way worse.
Yeah, I highly recommend for everybody. We're not we're not going to dedicate any more time to it than this on the show because I like not having the channel be nuked. But yeah, highly recommend go check out all these articles on this because they're pretty legit. Like they've the research that's gone into these is not anti-science like a lot of killing chickens and shit. They actually put in the work and come up with the numbers.
Yes. Yeah, the article's very interesting. It's a good article. I was checking it out before we came on today.
And the Telegraph has had a few of these. They've so it's out of the UK. They've been pretty good with covering this kind of thing, which kind of surprises me a little bit, but also maybe a little bit not.
I mean, there's got to be at some point they have to actually tell you the truth.
That is where you are wrong, my friend. Just look at the history. Just look at the history books. The history that our children have been.
Let me put it this way: the truth comes
never
out.
Have to tell the truth.
The truth comes out eventually. Let's put it that way. Sorry.
And there you go. The truth will come out, but they don't have to tell the truth, and they can deny the truth.
But the funny thing is that they are telling you. They're giving you tidbits on that. Every once in a while, they'll throw an article or two out, and it's allowed to go out. So,
let's see what else we got going on today.
Just can't do anything on the Jays, then they get pissy.
What about the Jays? How did they end up with one of their own as the new fucking president of Mexico?
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Hoy es el Día Nacional e Internacional contra las LGBTI jóvenes. Yo quiero refrendar mi compromiso con todas las personas de la universidad y sus familias, por la libertad de ser y por la libertad de amar. Que viva la profesión. ¡Claudia Presidenta! ¡Claudia Presidenta! Estoy con mis compas.
Imagine that. Mexico's new Jewish governor or president is a big supporter. Gay. Is the big supporter of the trannies. Wow, man, we are
almost. It's almost like they have a pattern. I mean, I don't know, man. Don't see it all the time, but it's almost like they have a pattern.
Almost. I mean, it's around the same time, about 100 years ago, we saw that pattern emerging in Weimar. Hopefully,
Really?
hopefully the other pattern emerges. Mexico elects first female president following the deadliest election campaign in the country's modern history. Here's what to know. Claudia Sheinbaum was elected the country's first female president after a bloody election campaign that saw 37 candidates assassinated. And they say it was the cartels, but what does that actually mean there, Steve?
Cartels means CIA.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, was I supposed to say that part out loud?
Yes, that's what
Shit, I'm gonna get myself in so much trouble.
It's okay. We all know. What
if I disappear one day, you know it's Tiny Hat CIA people.
Well, you are slinging coffee, which is in direct competition with the Colombians, who we know the only reason that they're bringing in the coffee is so that the CIA can bring in all the drugs. So
yeah, but I don't do Colombian coffee though. So
I thought you had a Colombian blend.
Nope, never have.
Yeah, the old Mexican surname Sheinbaum. That's yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the 37 candidates didn't lose; they just got whacked. It's like, maybe the Republicans can learn something from this point.
Oh Lord, yeah, it's
if we're not nuked now.
Shit's getting interesting, huh?
I think they could definitely learn a lesson or two from that. Is it what's in it for the CIA though? That's the thing I don't get. Like with Mexico, they just keep the flow of people through. Oh, did you see that Biden said that he's going to tighten up the border now? He said that. I'm pretty sure I put that in one of the chats. I don't know. We have too many chats. He said that he was going to executive order the border shut.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah. It's like, you could have executive ordered that 3 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Where did that go?
All that means that the border is going to get worse. It was probably in the Twitter chat. Or the formerly X, or formerly Twitter, now X.
Yeah, do you call it X or do you still call it Twitter?
I call it Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter. It'll never be X. Yeah, I don't know where that one went. Might be Signal.
After 4 years, Joe Biden is finally closing the border to asylum seekers. It's just a coincidence that it happened 5 months before the election. Democrats will now campaign on how they close the border when Republicans refuse to act.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Here it is.
Well, and the Republicans wouldn't push it because it wasn't really closing the border. It was just,
Biden has been mulling the use of a 1952 law that allows access to American asylum system to be restricted. The law, known as 212F, allows the U.S. president to suspend the entry of foreigners if their arrival is detrimental to the interests of the country. The same regulation was used by the Trump administration to ban immigration and travel to several predominantly Muslim countries and to bar migrants from asylum if they were apprehended crossing into the U.S. illegally, provoking accusations of racism. Biden is not a racist, however.
No, Biden's not a racist.
Just Trump.
I mean, that's why he called black kids roaches in that video.
Hey, black kids are just as smart as poor kids.
Yes, they are just as smart,
or something like that.
Yeah. There was, I don't know if it's still around, but there was a video of all of his racist gaffes, if you will. I can't find it anymore. It's gone. Those were great. There was probably a good 5 minutes of them too.
I will find it. If it exists, I will find it and I'll turn it into an intro.
But in the Hairy Legs video, he's at the end of it, he says, "I know about roaches," and it's like, and if you look up the term, like 1940s, they called it was roaches was a derogatory term for black people. So it's like, where'd that come from there, Joe? I find that pretty interesting.
Oh my gosh.
This
is a lot to go through. A look inside Joe Biden's worst gaffes of 2023. Joe Biden's most awkward gaffes of all time, part 3, which is 5 minutes long.
Let's play a few minutes of it. Come on, let's do it. Play at least a minute of it. Let's go.
Hang on, I got it.
Actually, one of his best ones though was he was telling the dude to stand up, and the dude was like in a wheelchair. He's like, "Stand up, Chuck! Stand up, Chuck!" And the guy's like in a wheelchair.
So my physical as well as my mental fitness.
And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older too.
I'm looking forward to this, man. You walk behind me in a debate. Come here, man.
Why should people want to make a change, though?
Well, that's up to them to decide.
Why should they?
It's for them to decide.
Well, make your case.
I'm not going to. We can't rebuild our economy and meet this climate crisis, exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a bug. Speaking of the environment. We need to work again with Canada and Mexico as neighbors, not as adversaries. Donald Trump does pose an existential threat to this. It's not hypothetical. There's things that are worth dealing with China tough on. That makes it far more durable, reliable, and powerful. And partnerships built on coercion. Because if you could take care, if you were a quartermaster, you can sure and hell take care of running a department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies' department.
What?
Oh my gosh, you got to give it to him, man. Like, he keeps going out there and trying. Like,
man, does he keep going out there and trying, or did they just keep putting him out there?
It's clones. It's not actually him.
Well, and like the craziest thing about that is there are several of those videos where it goes from one video of him to another video of him, and the two dudes
totally
don't
different person.
look alike at all.
Yeah, they don't look alike at all. That's the first thing I noticed was that. Remember did you see the second? I think it was the second or third clip in that. Like, they had circles where people were standing in because of the whole COVID nonsense.
Yeah,
that was beautiful. It's like, it reminds you of those days of absolute stupidity. But yeah, that's just the whole thing of him wearing a mask, and all you hear is it's like, take the damn mask off. So I was at a market on Sunday, and there's this couple that sells stuff out there. I'm not going to say what they sell, but they sell stuff. And she wears a mask, and she's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, I cannot hear you. I cannot understand what you're saying. You're wearing a mask. I literally can't hear. It was like the Peanuts chick again, the Peanuts teacher. And it just brought back all these memories of 2020 where people are trying to talk to you, and it's like, no clue what you're saying, honey. Literally no clue what you're saying because you're wearing that stupid freaking mask and you look like a retard. So, wasn't meaning to end the show. Sorry. I do have that last article up there.
Hang on. There was speaking of articles, there was apparently Biden did a interview with Time Magazine, and
ooh, that's got to be juicy.
Yeah, I just this article just came out like this morning.
Okay.
Like 15 minutes ago, since we started the show, this article came out. So and this is even in Newsweek. Newsweek is usually pretty hard left leaning. So I'll have to sit down and go through that. Holy crap. That's that could be a good one.
Yeah, didn't they put him on the cover of Time?
Probably. I don't know.
I can't believe Time magazine still exists.
They'll put anybody on the cover of Time magazine. I mean,
do they still actually print it? Is it
I'm
still
pretty sure
printed
this
magazine?
guy's been on the cover of Time magazine.
Oh, God, I hate this guy.
I'm Mark Hamill, and I'm voting for Joby-Wan Kenobi.
Just emphasizing how fucking gay Star Wars really is. Man, like, how is Mark Hamill has really kind of fallen off of. I mean, I guess he was always a lefty, but like TDS absolutely ruined some people. Like his brain is fucking broken. He'll never be the same.
Him and Joy Behar. Like it completely wrecked her and Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm trying to think. There have been some others that Ron Perlman, he was another one of them that TDS just like really wrecked him.
Yeah, he went nuts. What's Oberman? Keith Oberman.
Yeah, Keith Oberman.
Like,
I mean, Oberman
he got so bad they kicked him off of MSNBC. He got that bad. Like you have to be really bad to get kicked off MSNBC. I mean, like they have freaking what's the oh God, I can't remember the guy's name. The Black Pastor guy. What is his name? He has some of the best. Actually, speaking of gaffes, he has great gaffes too.
Oh,
the guy's name.
Gosh, damn it!
Yeah, see, can't think of his name either, huh?
Why are we drawing a blank on?
Come on, audience, help us out here. What's the guy's name?
Who's Jesse?
Al. No, Al.
No,
Reverend Al.
Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton. God, why did we suddenly draw a blank on?
We gotta look up his gaffes. He has some great gaffes.
Yeah.
Like his pronunciations of Rush Limbaugh. Like there's a whole thing of like him saying Rush Limbaugh's name like 25 different times. He literally says it different every single time because he can't pronounce the name. Nice. It's hilarious. But I mean, you have him. He's insane. You have him on MSNBC, but they get rid of Keith Oberman, who was their biggest draw on MSNBC for a long time, because he is that nuts. Like that says a lot about how crazy that man is. How much TDS hurt him.
I never cared for Oberman that much when he was doing sports and stuff. Like I just never thought he was all that good. So whenever he went, like maybe he went TDS because that was the thing that was like driving clicks and views at the time. Because once Trump got elected, and I know I've talked about this on other shows and stuff previously, like mainstream media, the legacy media, they were dying prior to Trump's election. Like the Obama years just crushed them because they never reported anything. They never said anything bad. Like all these people are like, oh, I miss when we had a president with no scandals. It's like, no, we didn't have a president with no scandals. We had a media that didn't cover anything.
Yeah, ballless media.
Right. They wouldn't say anything, or they wouldn't say or do anything except for suck Obama's dick, and that's not Barack's. Like that, they did not cover anything. And so they were dying. And then Trump came on, and now they start getting now they can run full TDS because who's actually watching legacy media? It's the fucking leftists that need to tune in for their brainwashing every month.
It's the leftist boomers.
Yeah. They need to get the chip changed, the NPCs that need to get the chip changed out in their head so they know what they're supposed to be mad about and what they're supposed to be protesting. So then, that gave mainstream media a big boon. And so anybody that was screaming TDS shit the loudest they became the voices that got elevated. It's why Don Lemon was so popular at the time. It's why The View became such a thing. It's why Olbermann was, the top draw for MSNBC. And then people got fucking fed up with it because it was just the same old shit over and over again.
Yeah.
And so then and that's why you've seen Don Lemon lose his job. Keith Olbermann lose his job. God,
I just wish they would pull The View off like that. It'd be great if they pull those ladies off.
Man, they'll never do it. The problem is there's still enough people that hate watch it and also legitimately watch it that it's always going to do numbers. Lemon and Olbermann and some of these others, they kind of lost their draw. But I still think there's enough stay-at-home housewives that put The View on just to see what these cackling psychopaths are saying every day.
Do you think they have more hate watchers or more real watchers? I think they have more hate watchers.
I kind of feel like The View probably has more hate watchers than anything. People who are watching because The View is kind of the pulse of the left, and you can see what they really think by listening to and watching them. So I think a lot of it is hate watch more than legitimate fans or viewership. Although speaking of the based housewives, where'd that video go?
I think politically I've always been pretty liberal, maybe even a libtard. But when you hit a pothole with a baby sleeping in the back, you become a Republican so fast. The second I finally got him to sleep, and then I hit a pothole, and I was like, God damn it, Joe Biden, you lizard. God damn, you and your clones need to take care of these streets. Maybe if you could take a break from vacationing on Epstein Island for 5 minutes. I know Epstein Island is closed, but I'm sure there's probably still some tunnels or some sketchy stuff going on. But potholes change my politics. Wild.
Granted, she is a lefty comedian, a female.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know what her thing was.
But there is something to that, because there are a lot of women that experience that. They become a mother, and then suddenly everything changes. At least for the ones that
have a brain.
Yeah, have a heart and a soul and a brain.
Yeah, don't want to cut their kids' parts off.
Right. And so you see some pretty extreme examples of the other side of it. Who was it? Was it you that shared the thing in the Signal chat with the chick that was like, how having an affair made my marriage better, and then 6 months later, I can't believe I'm divorced.
Yeah. No, it's like, I'm so broke and divorced. It's like, yeah, because you're out banging some other dude. Well, I'm assuming it was a dude, but
yeah, who knows?
Who knows these days? Could have been a student. Yeah, there we go.
Cheating on my husband made me a better mother. I feel inferior to my son's friends' parents because they're rich and married and I'm poor and divorced. Well, bitch, you might have brought that on yourself. Sorry.
Yep.
How did your husband feel? Did your husband think that cheating on him made you a better mother? Seems like he probably felt like it made you a terrible fucking wife and he kicked your ass to the curb.
Well, I mean, retards are going to retard, right? You weren't ready for that, were you?
Well, you said you wanted to use this as the closing.
I did, yes.
I was trying to set you up for your.
Okay, sorry about that. I didn't know you saw that. So it's great that the police are not going to be putting out the photos of their people committing crimes in. This is San Francisco, right? In San Francisco,
yeah.
Because it's racist to show who the people are who are committing the crimes. That's just beautiful. I can't see what the article says from this distance. Sorry.
San Francisco Chief of Police William Scott today implemented the groundbreaking new policy that will end the San Francisco Police Department's practice of releasing booking photos or mugshots, except in circumstances where their release is necessary to warn the public of imminent danger or to enlist the public's assistance in locating individuals, including at-risk persons. The policy change, which Chief Scott issued in a unilateral department notice this morning, was heavily influenced by SFPD's partnership with experts in a collaborative experts. It's always the fucking experts in a collaborative reform process that included input from academia, community groups, news organizations, and members of the San Francisco Police Commission. Excuse me. Public Defender's Office, blah, blah, blah. This policy emerges from compelling research suggesting that the widespread publication of police booking photos in the news and on social media creates an illusory correlation for viewers that fosters racial bias and vastly overstates the propensity of black and brown men to engage in criminal behavior. Maybe if all of the police booking photos that you were putting out weren't black and brown men, then people wouldn't start to think that those are the people committing most of the crimes. I don't know. Seems
so they don't want the truth out there.
By implementing this groundbreaking new policy today, SFPD is taking a stand that walks the walk on implicit bias while affirming a core principle of procedural justice. Yeah, that's exactly.
We live in a retarded world. That's all I know.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.